We have gone hands-on with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Welcome to our preview discussion. So I kind of want to start with just the open world, about what we did out there and how that felt. And the first thing I want to say is just to everybody that was like me, that was like, I just need to know, can you throw a Pokeball with one of your Pokemon in it at a Pokemon in the wild to start the battle, or do you have to run into its model? You can throw the Pokeball. But I think the key difference here is that rather than being able to like aim down your sights and have a reticle and throw it, it is just on a button. I think it was the right trigger, and it just and it just kind of like auto targets. It knows what you're trying to throw at, throws the Pokeball, starts the battle. But we actually learned something cool about that, Tris, which is that we've seen in trailers that the trainer can kind of sneak around, and we're like, why would they crouch? Why would they do that? You can do a backstrike and make it so that the enemy Pokemon has to miss their first turn. So there's still a little bit of that Legends Arceus juice.
But this is more in line with traditional Pokemon. They still want you to fight them. So you can throw the Pokeball out at a wild Pokemon, but it's not to catch it, it's to initiate battle from afar, basically. The same way you could in Legends in that case. And I do like that. I think that is really nice, and I think it felt pretty, like, streamlined, too. Like, I think what felt so nice about that and this in general is like I picked up the controller and it felt like Legends for the most part. Like playing Legends, this was very familiar in terms of its control scheme and what they were going for.
We got to ride around Koraidon a lot. And a lot, yeah. And they're really useful. It's like, oh yeah, sometimes you just need that big boy jump to get on top of something. I liked that it appears that the second you get them, which seems like it's going to be really early in the game, they have all of their travel mechanics unlocked, so you can jump, glide, climb, swim, no problem. And it felt good to control, and I think it's better than having different Pokemon do those different things. Because in Legends Arceus, I hated like having to press that button to switch when I wanted to like jump off something and then fly and then switch to the other one. It was like so awkward.
It's nice too how it's comparable to other open world games, not to be that person. Like think like Breath of the Wild, where once you get the glider, you can go anywhere. In this case, they're pushing the same kind of thing. Once you get Koraidon and Miraidon, you can go anywhere. You don't have to wait for them to unlock abilities. You can just go anywhere as soon as you have them. And it's pushing that same kind of open world freedom that I think, even though we've been told basically since the start of this game, it's the first open world Pokemon games, we've been consistently doubting just to what degree it would be. And this really gave us that answer.
I completely agree, Tris. I feel like coming out of it, one of my big takeaways was, whoa, open world, that changes the game. Like, because I think in my head, I was thinking like, oh, Pokemon games have always been open world. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a degree to which I'm like, sure, you were moving through screens, but in the player's imagination, I always kind of felt like it was open world. No, I was lying to myself. This is open world. This is insane. I like the degree to which there really didn't feel like there was anything being like, Jake, you have to go there.
The main central city that's like right down near the southern end of the map.
Yeah.
That one part, they told us like that city is a loading screen, but it's like the only loading screen.
I think an observation that we can make too is that we've seen some trailers and stuff of trainers walking around the open world, and now having done this preview, it is intensely clear to me that those trailers have been edited to not have a lot of wild Pokemon and stuff. Because I don't know about you, but when we were playing, I was like, damn, their items are just everywhere.
So much. So much. There's a lot to distract you on your journey, to put it lightly.
I think that's totally true. I've been asking this question of like, man, they're really pushing the open world, but I'm not really sure what it is that we're going to be doing. That turns out you're going to be wandering around going, hey, look at that. Do. Hey, look at that. Do. And I gotta tell you, I think that was more fun than I anticipated it being. Just because, you never know when you're gonna turn a corner and it's like, oh, a pack of Pokemon I've never seen before. Sick. And that's exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, you saw that Psyduck and you're like, we're booking it. We're
Yeah.
going for
Oh,
Psyduck.
dude, we saw that. That was so exciting. This demo has made me a bit of a believer in the open world vision for this game. You get to control the pace, speed of the game, the levels of your team, however you want to do it. So if you're like, I'm going to that location and I'm not fighting any wild Pokemon, I don't really see anything that's gonna stop you from doing that. Yeah, so I'm expecting some like Dark Souls runs, you know what I mean? Just like my level 6 Quaxley.
What was nice too about it, and I guess we get show on screen, like we were given a very specific area of the map like to play in, and we were told like if we leave this area, we're gonna get the no, like stay in this one area, and it actually has a lot of variety in it. Like this was a pretty big expansive area to explore, and there were Pokemon ranging from like level 2 and like level 30.
Yeah.
And not like all together, like mixed together, but like this one area, like from basically the starting area to the grass gym, there was a good range of a variety of Pokemon levels. And that kind of tells me the concern that people have had since like one of the earlier trailers of level scaling.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be as big of an issue as people think it is.
A lot of those difficulty concerns, I came out of this preview being like, less concerned. Less concerned. Especially since we did something that I was like, this battle's kind of hard. And and maybe it was our team, maybe it was whatever, and I guess we can talk about it now, who cares. So we got to do that. You've seen it in the trailers. That auto battle thing, it was always confusing, and now using it in practice, I get it. And basically they were like, you need to defeat this many, I think it was Growlithe?
It was 30. Oh, Growlithe, yeah.
Was it Growlithe? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was 30 Growlithe.
It was, defeat 30 Growliths. And then when that is done, you will go on to, like, the boss battle. And so we're fighting these Growliths, and what that kind of comes down to, it was because of the strength of our team and who we had, I think it was as easy as just running around, pressing the go fight button. They would win, and then you'd move on to the next one. So actually what the game was, can you find 30 Growlithe in the time limit? And I didn't think about that. That was kind of interesting because you're kind of running around looking, it's like, oh, there's a pack of Growlithe, okay, I'm gonna go over there, go fight them, you know, that whole thing.
Yeah, and especially since a lot of the grunts won't send out their Pokemon until you get near them, so that's kind of a case. You kind of have to wander around the area and find what you need to, basically. Running around the normal auto battles like in the overworld with like one Pokemon, that's pretty simple. You can like direct them, go over there, go do that, go do this, and that's easy. When there's 3 of them, I kept getting confused as to which one I was controlling, and I think my Farigiraf was getting confused too, because it kept running in circles, like, what is going on?
Yeah.
It was not fighting. All the fighting was down to the other 2. My Farigiraf was just running in circles, either having a good time or being really freaking confused.
Yeah, so there was a little bit of, like, you need to, when you're giving your Pokemon an order, make sure you know what you're doing. You can't just, like, spam the button and it'll figure it out. Yeah, totally heard. The thing that surprised me was I couldn't believe how tough the Mela boss fight was. And who knows, we didn't have our team, we didn't, you know, we were just jumping in with what we had. But I was like, man, this is like a bona fide boss fight in a way that I'm like, I don't know if gym leaders are gonna have this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was really interesting fighting Mela, and we're not going to reveal like a ton of details. We're not allowed to, but like the ace up her sleeve took out like half my team. Like, I was not ready for that, and it was interesting too because it's like, well, you know, Team Firestar. Okay, so fire types. We need to use something water. So I send out my water Pokemon, gets one-shotted. Was not ready for that. I'm like, okay. Well, and this works as a fun transition to a really interesting mechanic here, the Terastallizing. So I send out Titan, you know, ice type whale Pokemon against, you know, fire. Yeah, that's gonna go great. But Titan's Terraform is water. So Terastallized immediately, and now all their moves are not very effective, and I have like a really powerful water move to use.
Yeah.
And it completely turned the tide of battle. And that right there is what made me realize just how interesting the Terraforms could really be.
Agreed. Terastallizing is sick. And I think every time I see it discussed, I hear it being like, oh man, this is really going to mix up competitive. It's going to change the way you build your team, blah, blah, blah. And doing this preview really made me think about how Terastallizing is going to change just playing through the game and my team composition. Like, I'm somebody who traditionally never likes fire Pokemon, so it's always hard for me to like, oh man, I always have to feel like I have to sacrifice a spot on my team for this type. And now it's like every Pokemon has a secret type, and it completely changes your coverage. And it's exactly what you said, where it's like, oh man, our water type went down. Oh, JK, we got this other ace up our sleeves you didn't see coming. I think that this is going to jump out ahead as the clear best gimmick in any of these Pokemon games, just because of the way that it is applied to the whole team. I think not only is the team composition aspect of it fun, I kind of think that the hunting for a specific Tera type is also going to be fun, and that's just going to be like a cool thing to do, to like look for, no, I want this exact combination. It's just something to do in a Pokemon game that I think you feel rewarded for doing when you find the thing that you want.
Like, yeah, you can build the team the way you want to, get the Pokemon you want, and just have completely different Tera types for all of them. So any one of your Pokemon can then become the ace up your sleeve by changing its type. Yeah. And it really does go much further than, you know, Dynamaxing or the Z moves or Mega Evolution, where those enhanced what the Pokemon kind of already could do or change their stats accordingly. Yeah. Whereas this completely changes their typing. Yeah. This like completely changes what a Pokemon is capable of.
I remember we were playing the demo and we were on like the Pokemon like menu screen, just like looking at our team. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, the Tera type, it's just right there. It's just like, there's the type right below it, Tera type, no confusion. I felt like a lot of that stuff, like that, man, this game secretly, quality of life wise, gets it.
Oh yeah.
Gets it. Gets it. Is
like, like opening up the Pokemon menu, like scrolling down my Pokemon, pressing the Y button, just instantly setting it to the start of my team. I'm like, ooh, yes, ooh, that's nice. I don't have to like manually go like swap it anymore. It's just instant. That's good user experience. That's good quality of life updates from previous games. And I'm excited to see what else they do for that. And I know that sounds so small when in the grand scheme of things, but like when we're this far in with Pokemon, like over 25 years of it, we want more like enhanced user experiences and like ease of access and ways to make the game more accessible and fun to new young generations of players and even or old generations of players. If they, you know, someone older wants to get into it but they're worried it's too complicated. Like ease of access is so important in games.
When just the micromanagement aspect of Pokemon, I feel like any tools I can get where it like makes that a little less, where every Pokemon player is familiar with, pick up Pokemon, move it to spot you want it to be in. Okay, now do the next thing. And I've always been like, how does the PC not have just like an auto sort button? I cannot say whether or not that is here. I don't know. I can't believe I didn't think to look. But it's stuff like that I'm like, oh man, any step towards that kind of thing is totally a step in the right direction. Tris, I want to make a hard transition here into some cool fun facts that we learned, and maybe just talk about them a little bit. So I'm just gonna go through a few things. When you have a Pokemon battle out into the world, sometimes Pokemon in the background will stick around, watch, and react to the battle. Awesome.
And this says a lot about like the wild Pokemon AI.
Yeah, and I think they could even like do different little reactions and things depending on what was going on. And I know we had a really funny moment where we were out with our, I want to say Farigiraf. Okay, that name, that's a tough one, Chris. that is a tough one. But we were doing like that little let's go feature, so they were running around with us, and it started raining. And do you remember this? It was like it was like running around like a weirdo, dude.
No, like, and it was so funny because it started raining. My trainer is just like, I'm not wearing a hat. My hair is getting wet. I don't like this. What is going on? And Farigiraf is running in circles around me, like. Like a dog at a dog park, just
so
excited, like, oh my gosh, there's mud, there's water, there's rain. This is so exciting. It was really funny. Like, I think we both needed to take a minute to just appreciate what was going on. We were like, this is hilarious.
That was
This is
awesome.
great.
No, that was definitely a highlight of our preview. I feel like that was so fun. Next fun fact. Crossing a Pokemon trainer's line of sight to initiate a battle with them, not in this game. Hard, not in this game at all. Like, from what they told me, it seemed like that will never happen. So instead what happens is that a trainer will be out in the open world. Yeah. And it'll be like, you want to fight? And it'll be, like tossing a ball. It'll glimmer a little bit, and you go up to them and say, hey, let's have a battle. And I kind of think what they're going for here is kind of what I was saying earlier about the open world and about setting your own pace and just doing things however you want to do them. The game will not stop you. It, like, even for trainers, how it's always been done, they are like, nah, dude, you're in charge here. You want to fight? You go talk to him.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. It does make me wonder how many, like, trainer battles will actually be in the game compared to other Pokemon games. Like, I know, like, for example, Legends did not have many, but it wasn't a traditional Pokemon game.
It's funny, I didn't think about this until you just said it, but I guess I'm tempted to say that there is a little de-emphasizing happening of trainer battles out in the wild, and that's not the focus. We can't say that for sure because we really only got to see a small segment, but that was, like, out of everything we did see in the wild, not a lot of trainers. Okay, next fun detail, customization, character customization.
Oh my gosh.
There's so much.
I have never seen Pokemon customization this, like, extravagant. And I love it. And
I feel like we definitely just scratched the surface. Because in terms of, like clothing stuff, I feel like we barely saw anything. But there's, like, a million different categories. And you know which one my favorite is, Tris? What? I like that you can put a phone case on your Rotom phone.
That was really nice. That is sick. And I really hope there's some good designs.
Yeah.
Like, I know they won't do it. Yeah. I want to see designs referencing Nintendo platforms that Pokemon's been on.
See, I
know they won't do it, but
I'm hoping I can get just it looks like a Pokemon kind of thing. So, like, if I can get a Bellibolt,
that'd be cool.
You know what I mean? Just like Bellibolt it's no longer Rotom, it's a Bellibolt phone. Like, that would be hype.
We might be able to get color schemes for each type at the very least. I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was a cool feature there. And as we've since learned, we didn't get to experience this in the game ourselves. But we actually learned from the B-roll that Nintendo sent us, which we can display on screen right now.
Yeah.
You can customize your character from, like, the start of the game. You don't have to wait to go to, like, a salon or, like, until you reach a certain city that has it. Like, this screen shows, like, oh, once you start the game, you can't change your language settings, but change your look. And you can, like, completely customize that character's look from the get-go. And I know, like, past Pokemon games have let you, like, change your skin tone from the beginning, but you still can't, like, you can't change that hairstyle until you find your first salon. This, like, you can change the hairstyle, color, the eye shapes, and, like, all of that customization. Yeah. I'm sure within reason, because you'll probably unlock some of it as you go. So much of that customization you could do from, like, first boot up. And that makes me so happy, because it means you can make this your journey from the get-go.
Yeah, I agree. I'm always, like, bummed out when I can't make my person. I have to wait until I can get to a hair salon to have curly hair. Like, it's just annoys the shit out of me. And so I'm glad I can get that right off the top here. I also feel like they're pushing the whole, like, you can very quickly, it seems, go online and do co-op in the open world with your friends, and it would just be ridiculous if you all looked the same.
Yeah.
So so that's I'm sometimes it's an easy benchmark to hit. I'm glad we have overcome it. Tris, we also got to do the picnic minigame sandwich builder.
Oh, man.
Okay. Pokemon fans, I get it. You don't care about this. I get it. How many times did you do the camp thing in Sword and Shield? Twice? How many times did you make curry? Once?
Oh, I loved doing that.
No,
but
of course you did,
clearly I'm a
Tristan.
casual.
Yeah, no, but listen, I get it. I am right there with you. And let me tell you something I never liked about cooking mini games in games. I always hate like, oh, take 3 random ingredients, put them together, and then do a weird mini game where you spin them
stir
up,
it.
and you don't really know if you're supposed to do it fast or slow, and then it comes out and it goes, oh, this is beautiful or this is garbo, and you don't really know why. No, gone are the days of this random mini game. This is very simple. You pick out sandwich ingredients. You play a little like reverse Jenga game in which you try to stack them on top of each other, and then you put the little stick in and you go, this is my masterpiece. It is simple. It makes sense. I feel like we all know sandwich ingredients. There's none of this. What do you put in curry? I don't know. You know, there's a
Now,
Yeah.
what was so ridiculous about this, in a good way, in a good kind of ridiculous.
yeah.
We learned
Yeah.
after getting all ingredients together, you have to put everything in. So like if you choose lettuce,
Yeah.
you have to put all 3 things of lettuce
Yeah.
on from the container.
Yeah.
You can't just put 1 or 2 and be done. Like when you pick ingredients, you're not wasting those ingredients.
Right.
So you have to strategize well, and you also can't move them after they've been placed on the sandwich. When they've touched that lower bun of the sandwich, they're in the no-no zone. You cannot touch them again. And you need to
I
place it
forgot about that,
carefully.
Tris. It's like chess rules. Once
Yeah.
you take your hands off of it, it's
So you need to be careful. Because we what was it? We tried building like an Italian sandwich or something like that. It was
yeah.
like-
We tried to make an
yeah.
Italian hoagie, classic Italian, and somebody has to get a hold of the Pokemon Company because they have a gross misunderstanding of how many ingredients one can fit on buns. Because we were trying to put our 3 pieces of lettuce on there, and it was like, whoa!
Like, I just want to stress, it was like 3 pieces of lettuce, 3 tomatoes, 3 like little like cucumbers, one of which already started falling off.
Yeah.
Ham, like nice like circle, like thin circle slices
Yeah.
of ham, which were not bending, they were like staying like the
Right.
circle. You still have to balance them. And then bacon.
Well, yeah,
But this
okay.
wasn't
hold on.
like-
Nobody called me
Yeah.
out really quick. I know bacon's not on a classic Italian. They didn't have any prosciutto. We didn't get that yet. We just we used what we had, so we used bacon. But Tris, tell them about how ridiculous this bacon was.
This was not like, you fried your bacon or you made your bacon on the stove and it's like this nice kind of thin, crispy thing. Literally like this thick.
If
Like, it
not
looked like
thicker.
no, like
yeah.
it was like a slab of beef.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, guys,
3 of them, trying to fit that on the sandwich.
if the Pokemon Company needs a sandwich consultant, I'm right here. I have a Wawa down the street. Let's talk. Hit me up. Like, I feel like there's a lot we could do here. But my whole thing with this is that I thought this was reasonably fun.
Yeah.
I liked the whole Monster Hunter aspect of, okay, we make the sandwich and then we have like a culinary experience in which we all react to like eating it or whatever. And
Yeah.
there's like your trainer and the Pokemon and everybody's like having their own little, like, dude, it's so stupid.
It was so good though.
Yeah.
It was so good.
But I feel like the way that this will fit in the open world too, I'm like I'm like into it because I'm not trying to go back to a Pokemon Center every 5 seconds. And to have this thing to be like, okay, I'm gonna try to heal up my team while I'm out here so I don't have to go back. Heck yeah.
This is such a good upgrade. Like the whole picnic aspect in general of like ever since like Pokemon and Me back in like Gen 6. Like you had Pokemon and Me, Pokemon Refresh, camping, and now this is my favorite iteration of this already, and I've only experienced a little bit of it because I think it feels the most natural.
Yes. Agreed. Totally agreed. And I feel like the way that we interfaced with the mechanics, it was so clear of like when we were doing something right, when we were doing something wrong. Like I was saying before,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, Jake, you mixed it too fast. I was like, what? Like, what's too fast? Like, like when you see the part of your sandwich fall off, you go, that's on me.
Yeah, exactly.
I got it. Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think I've had a criticism of past Pokemon games where recently there's been so many opportunities to get experience without actually seeing the Pokemon that I feel less connected to my team. And I think something that this game is doing really well is that it has a lot of different opportunities to be with your party members with even if it's not like what you're used to of just like grinding a million battles, it's like they're running around with you, and like when they're doing the follow stuff, like we said earlier, they can like go to sleep, have little reactions. They're like they're on your team. You do the little picnic, they're on your team. You do the like let's go thing, it's like you see them with your eyeballs. Like I think that really goes a long way. I felt like we were getting to know the people, the Pokemon that we got put with on our team, like really quickly. And I was getting attached to them. I was like, Tris, it was so funny because, you know, we saw Bellibolt before Bellibolt was revealed. And do you remember when we saw Bellibolt and just the screams, dude?
Everyone was just Bellibolt. Our beloved. There he is, the lad.
It was so good. Yeah, I just think that this Pokemon game is doing a really good job of evoking the kind of joy that I think Pokemon games should. Feeling more like an RPG than it has since I was a kid, I feel like, right?
Yeah, I could definitely see what you mean there.
Yeah. And even just, like when you defeat a Pokemon in the wild, the resources that we would get, it was like, oh, dude. Materials. Yeah, here's like this Pokemon's claw. Here's a little tuft of their fur. I was like, yo, full RPG. Awesome. and then this has already been revealed, of course, but then going to the TM machine and being able to turn those resources into TMs. That
was cool.
Yeah. Once again, taking something we've had before and saying, oh, remember when this was just like a store and you didn't really... like, you know what I mean? There was less friction there. There was less of an ability for a player to have a relationship to it because the mechanic was so one-dimensional. But now when I see, oh, okay, this TM needs this particular resource. Oh, I have a ton of that. Oh, you can have that. I'll give it to... okay, great. I'll take that TM. It's way more interesting than just being like, take some money out of my wallet. Yeah.
Especially since you can do it all in one place, and it's not like classic Pokemon games where you have to find the right store that had the right TM. Or...
great point, Tris. Great point. I'm trying to think if there's any other little details I want to say. I'm glad that we can change our Pokemon nicknames in the menu whenever we want. That was a feature I always am a fan of. Sometimes I can't come up with the perfect name right there, you know, so...
yeah, exactly.
And we haven't really talked about... there's not much to say outside of what has already been revealed in terms of the Titan battle with Cloth and the gym battle with Brassius?
Brassius.
Yep. Okay, cool. We did have a little bit of fun with that Sunflora game. That was actually more fun than I expected it to be. Because it's so silly, just like wandering around finding Sunflora. But since the area is like open world and it's so big, there's really nothing to be like, no, you dummy, go that way. So it is a little bit of a fun game. Yeah.
I think my favorite part of that was when we went to investigate the playground, dude. And then we got stuck in the playground, like not like glitch stuck, but like we couldn't figure out how to get out of it. So you're just like, all right, screw it. You summon Koraidon, you just jump off the top.
Yo, the person playing with us was like, oh, you're in the jungle gym. And I'm like, yeah, there's gotta be a Sunflora here. And there was like a weird pause and I said, or I'm trying to galaxy brain this children's video game.
No, and the best part was when she goes, I didn't even know you can go up there.
Yeah, I know.
That was the best part. Because no one else had tried it yet, apparently.
And that's the thing. It's like there's a ladder, and I think you see that in a Pokemon game, and you go, oh, there's no way I can interact and actually climb up that ladder. Nope.
I wanted to see.
Yeah, no, it worked. I was now I'm in the jungle gym, you know, now it was so silly. Yeah, really cool. Just like, again, that is something that I think no previous Pokemon game has allowed for that kind of experience in the world. So cool, man. I feel like, Tris, every time I think about our preview and every time we start talking about it, I re-energize myself about these games. I'm so pumped on these games. Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always excited for a new generation of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like, just baseline, I'm always excited. But like having gotten to like try it now with this preview and all the Pokemon they've been revealing and everything leading up to this game, I can't think of the last time I was this excited for a new Pokemon game.
Totally.
And it's a great feeling.
Yeah, it really is. Oh, we didn't talk at all actually about the Tera. I want to say Tera raid battles.
Yeah, that was what I wanted to bring up. Yeah, the raid battles.
We both, I think, reacted positively to this because there's no downtime.
Mm-hmm.
Sick! Because I think I told you Max Raid Battles was my I'll sit there with the TV on activity because I feel like waiting for people online was absolutely brutal. And
Kind of was.
And the Tera raid battles, I think you might know better than me. I wasn't sure exactly how it was doing the turn order, but it really just felt like we were all just like, yeah, pick your attack. And then when you picked it, it would go, okay, next, next. Yeah, it was really snappy. It was great.
Yeah, no, I think what was most interesting about it is how, like, there's always something for you to do.
Yes.
Like, I don't know exactly. I wasn't paying enough attention to specifically the enemy Pokemon, how it was attacking everyone on the team, but there was always something for you to do. Like, you were not always waiting on your teammates. And I think what was most interesting to me was when we noticed one of our teammates had low HP. So rather than doing our next attack, we did the cheer like 3 times to heal the party, and it worked. And it got us to win.
Yes. Triss, you're right. I forgot about that. That was awesome. There was actually a level of like, okay, we're in this together. We're not all just, okay, now is the time to Dynamax. Go! You know, now, yeah, I forgot about that. The cheer mechanic, which I think in Sword and Shield, correct me if I'm wrong, you could only do that once your Pokemon had fainted.
Yes.
And it wasn't to the degree that this was. This was like, yeah, you had choices. You could like do a buff, or you could, like you said, heal the team. And healing the team, it actually did make a difference.
It did.
Yeah, this is gonna be. I secretly think this is a killer feature, these Tera raid battles, because I think we all in the DLC realized that the max raid battles in Pokemon Sword and Shield were actually sick. Great
but it shouldn't have taken that long for them to feel that realized.
I think that this is an improvement to those battles in a way that I didn't even know that they could do, which makes it really impressive in a way. Yeah, really cool. Very positive on this. Triss, is there anything else you want to add? Anything else?
Man, you know, I think one of the funniest things from the preview event itself was how when we got there was a little whiteboard, and it was just like, which team are you going for the Splatfest?
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
I just wanted to call that out because I thought that was funny, and I'm curious. I wish they like told us in the email what the final results were.
Oh god, I feel like Fire Team was dominant when we were there.
Yeah, when we went, it had a lot more votes. We gotta go for Coco. We have to.
Yeah, I understand. Well, so that's gonna do it for our Pokemon Scarlet and Violet preview discussion. Got to play a little bit of the game. Now, so glad we finally got to record this. Tell you all about it. We are so excited. Really quick, commenters, if you made it this far, you are at the end of the video, and you're like, oh my god, Jake and Triss, there's one thing I really want to know, just like how Jake needed to know if you could throw a Pokeball. This is my one question. Get in the comments, ask it. We might be able to answer. No promises. We might be able to answer. So please do that. Might do something with that in the future if there are a bunch of questions people want answered. We will let you know about that. But again, thank you so much for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out with us. And for everything else in games, you're already in the right place. So just let us explain. Jake, Triss, goodbye.